Hello and welcome to the City of Rochester's Training and Experience Preparation presentation. During the next few minutes, we will go over how to complete this exam and hopefully answer any questions you might have along the way. Before you begin, it's recommended you start in the right environment, preferably somewhere quiet and free of distractions. Set aside enough time to get through the exam without any time constraints. Keep handy any documentation you might need, such as your resume, certifications, or licenses you might possess. Great, let's get started. The first page consists of basic demographic information. Enter your legal name, no nicknames please, your full social security number, and your complete address. Historically, this exam was mailed out, and the only way to submit a completed exam was to mail it back in. We're happy to now offer a second option. The exam, as you can see, is a fillable PDF. Once complete, you're able to email it back to localexams@cityofrochester.gov. If you'd prefer to complete it by hand and mail it in, that's perfectly fine as well. Please mail it to the address at the bottom of the first page. Now, please note it is extremely important you return your completed exam by November 30th. Any exams received after this date will not be considered. Please be sure to read page 1 general instructions and all other instructions thoroughly and carefully, as I will only highlight a few important aspects, such as you must write or type a response to each question. Supporting documents such as sample reports, letter of commendation, or transcripts will not be considered in the evaluation. A resume will not be accepted in place of this questionnaire. It is also important that you sign the affirmation statement, which is the last page. If you do not, your questionnaire will not be rated. Also, if you leave out any information, you will be rated as though you do not have the knowledge or experience or training. If your information is difficult to understand, raters will not be able to give you credit for that experience or training. Now on to Part 1 instructions. This is page 2. On pages 4 through 9, you'll find 3 types of charts. Please fill these out completely. In the next few slides, I will demonstrate exactly how to complete these charts. If you run out of space and have additional information you'd like to submit, you're welcome to either copy the chart or type the additional information onto a Word document. Save the Word document as a PDF before sending it along with your completed exam. Note all additional documents must include your Social Security number and the corresponding code number on the left-hand side. On to page 4. The Education and Training Verification Chart should be completed by entering any and all job-related types of education and trainings that you have received that are relevant to the job you're applying for. Enter the complete name and address of the school or facility, month and year for your attendance dates, and list all pertinent courses that you've taken, including internships. Completely spell out the name of your degree. However, you can abbreviate the type of degree it is if you choose to do so. If additional space is required, as you can see, once the information is entered, a scroll bar appears on the right-hand side of the field. This signals the examiner that there is additional information to review. The following is particularly important, as this is how you will answer the questions and charts on pages 10 through 18, with the exception of a couple of questions, where you will be asked for specific examples that you will have to write out in detail. Now, if you look under Education, Training, and Code Letter, you will see A1. A1 will always reference Monroe Community College and the list of information that you have there. A2 will reference SUNY Brockport in this example. Again, this will make complete sense once you begin completing the charts on pages 10 through 18. The job experience verification chart is where you'll enter all of the job experiences you've had which relate to the title you're applying for. You will fill in the chart just as you previously did, entering an accurate and detailed answer into every field. Again, the job code letters on the left-hand side are assigned to whatever information you entered to the right of it. If you've held more than one position at the same company, each position should be entered separately and assigned its own job letter code. On page 9, we have the volunteer verification chart, where your volunteer experience may be entered. However, for this information to count, the supervisor's name and title must be included along with all other requested information. Please describe your volunteer duties in detail. Again, if you volunteered in different capacities at the same company, please make a separate entry for each volunteer experience. This way, each experience has its own job code letter assigned to it. Here on the last page of Part 1, you will begin referencing your past entries using the corresponding job and/or education code. Remember, your volunteer experience also falls under a job code. Let's complete this chart together. The first question is asking whether I am CPR certified. Yes, I am. And as I entered in my experiences, my duties and tasks while working at ABC Inc., I administered first aid and CPR when needed. This experience has job code letter B1 associated with it. So that is what I will enter here. This is B1. I have my CPR certification with me, so I see that it expires December of next year. Next question, valid driver's license. Yes. While volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club, I had to maintain my Class D driver's license. And that job code letter is B7. And I still have it, obviously. And it will expire in March of 2025. Have I taken a driver safety course? Yes, I have. Again, I go to my experience while volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. I participated in a driver safety course, and that job code letter is again B7. And that expires in February of next year. If you have any other certifications or licenses, you're more than welcome to enter them in the additional spaces provided. Part 2's questions and formatting may differ slightly by title, but all of the questionnaires are similar in that you will either have to enter detailed complete sentences to answer the question, as in this example, or the questions will be presented in a chart form. There are 4 types of these charts. There's either the yes or no with the job education code. As you see in this example, you can just check off yes or no. In others, you will have to either enter the word yes, or you could just enter an X for yes or no. Then you have the chart where it's asking for additional information, as in this example. So they're asking about hiking. Did you receive training in hiking? Have you observed the activity? Assisted with the activity? Actually planned lessons? And then, of course, you must enter the corresponding job or education code. And lastly, a place to enter any workshops or other non-certifiable trainings you've had that are related to the title you're applying for. The third and final section of the exam consists of reading the affirmation statement, signing and printing your name, and entering the date. If you do not already have a digital signature, I suggest you print your name and enter the date first. Then, click Signature, configure Digital ID. You're going to choose Create a new digital ID, hit Continue, Save to Windows, you can do either, and then entering your information. Now you're going to hit Continue and Sign. It's going to ask you if you to save it. And there you go. Thank you for taking the time to review this presentation. We hope that you have found it helpful. If you have any questions, please contact Saida Santiago in the Department of Human Resources at 428-1340.